And there you go. I think I forgot how to run a live thing. Okay, now we're live, and we'll be sharing the screen here. Good afternoon, whoever's showing up to watch us live talk about what we're going to be doing live later. So that's what we're doing right now. Just going live to talk about chat that we'll be doing later on this afternoon in the same format. Going live, opening up feed here with the conversation people are having with us in the talk about the auction a little bit since we can, and it's live. So boom, there's a link to the auction that's tonight, and got all kinds of cool stuff. So if you just go in and look at the auction as is, shrunk it down so I could take the get the screenshot there. If we look at the auction in the order that it's already in, got a motorcycle starting things off, then an old Zaxxon video game. Who remembers why Zaxxon is so good? What the deal with Zaxxon was? Anyone? Anyone? So here's the deal. I should be able to open the link in a new window. Yep, and there's the Zaxxon. So why was Zaxxon so good? We're gonna make that a thing. Let me go over here and open this up. Who's watching this? Do we have humans watching this, or is this just being watched by the FBI? 7 says 4 thumbs, so maybe 4 people watching. So what is so good about Zaxxon? So what was so good about Zaxxon? Was it the first color video game? Was it the first space ship video game? Was it the first 3D time tunnel video game? Yeah. Or was it the first 3D flight game? Boom. What's so good about Zaxxon? Do you know? You know, you know. If you don't know, then you're youngin'. You don't know nothing if you're youngin'. That's why you have to watch videos like this to learn what's so good about how things work. All right. So let's ask yourself, are there going to be guns that's retailed for $65 and sell today for $125 at an auction? You think those are going to be at an auction where people are selling things that have value? Are the least expensive things going to have value? Are they going to have marbles? Are they going to have used Green Army men? No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have the least expensive guns available. You can tell real quick by going over there and clicking on this search thing and going down to where it says sporting goods and then guns. There's 52 guns. What do we got? Colt Python, some kind of Beretta, Wonder 22. Got a Remington, and then some kind of Winchester M1. And then you got a Colt with a buntline barrel on it. And then you got a Model 8. You got a B West AK. You got this Tanker Garand. What's the difference between a regular Garand and a Tanker Garand, you might ask? Then you got a Franchi. That's what happens when you get something made in France by Bianchi. They have to call it Franchi. Then you got a P38. There's another P38 in here, I thought. Maybe I'm crazy. There's a couple of Makarovs. You got a bunch of revolvers for the Fuds. You got your AK-47s for the youngins. You got your Mini 14 for DJ. And then, yeah, I'm not going to go through all 50 guns, but I got forever. Just sit around watching 50 different guns or whatever. So I don't see any of them being Ring of Fire, though. So, yeah, they don't have the least expensive firearms available at auction. So we start off with the motorcycle, some kind of Harley Davidson. Never heard of that brand. Then you got a Zaxxon video game. You got your Python with the goofy Packmeyer grip on it. That'll be the next poll on what people think of this grip. You got a gold coin. Suckers are paying $2,000 for a $20 gold piece. Now, here's the deal. Is that because of inflation? Yeah, that's because of inflation. That's out of control inflation. People are willing to pay $2,000 for $20. That's what happened in Venezuela. Then you got a Beretta, and then you got some kind of fake toys. These are toys that our grandparents had to deal with, but it was fake because they were fake toys. So we're going to go back over here and see what kind of 4 votes. So 7 people, 4 votes. What does that tell us? Well, now it's 8 people. It's even worse. 8 people minus 4 equals, oh, now it's back down to 6. See what happens? As soon as you call them out, the narcs run out of here. That's how you know. Nobody else bothers to check and do one of these actual real-life checks to see how many narcs are watching their stuff. But there's a lot of FBI plants. We know that. Who watched that fake event that happened on Saturday? That's where all the feds came in, arresting each other. So we have 4 votes. Now there's 10 people watching. How fake is this? I'm one of them, so that's 9. You go 4 or 9 minus 4. That means there's 5 federal agents watching this chat right now. They don't know what to do with themselves. They're arresting each other right now. That's why the number keeps jumping back around, because they keep arresting each other and walking each other out of there. Are you undercover? No, I'm just here. All right, so we got 4 votes. Look at all these people. Oh, I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot, and whatnot. I only see 4 votes. So tell you what, robots can't vote. That's science, right? The feds, the narcs, they never vote because their sergeants won't let them. So boom, we only have 4 people watching this. Of the 4 people watching this, oh, you're all wrong. You think it's the first time tunnel video game? What the hell is a time tunnel? It's not even a thing. It was the first 3D flight video game. So it's sad. It's really sad to think that of the humans that showed up to vote, it looks like 4 of them are wrong. Only 1 person voted right. 1 person knew what the big deal is about Zaxxon. That's all right. Zaxxon was kind of lame. So basically in Zaxxon, you got to drive down this road that's in space. Oh, they got Dan doing it.
Choose your car.
Well, that's not the game. So they have the wrong. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong game. How about that? All they're doing is showing it work. They're not playing it. So in Zaxxon, you're going down this street, but it's what's this view called when you look from the side of a 3-dimensional thing? There's probably words on the internet that describe it. Anyway, it was the first video game where it wasn't Spy Hunter and it wasn't Pac-Man. So you got to look from above, and it was super dumb. It wasn't that good. It was good at the time, but it's pretty easy to play. I would get it. It was a big deal. It was a big deal at the time. So how many people out there, if you remember Zaxxon, type in hashtag Pac-Man. If you remember Zaxxon. Anyway, so now we're going to do a different poll, and that has to do with the grips on this 1911. So this has Packmeyer grips on, or the grips on this Colt. Ooh, they diamondized the trigger too. What are they doing to this thing? So this is the kind of cool stuff we did in the 80s because we thought it was cool, putting grips like this on guns. And then doing this to triggers. What is that called? Diamonding them? Echo will know, he's out there. Basically, here's the trick. You take a pencil and you shove it into a drill bit, or into a drill press, and then with the eraser side down so that the eraser would be the drill. And then you just squish that onto stuff, and it does this. It turns this, it makes like little swirls, and then you do that over and over and over, and you end up with this. So that's all this is somebody shoved a little polishing bit and made a little diamondy look. It was cool in the 80s whenever I figured it out. Everything I owned had it on there. So I got a whole bunch of screwdrivers and things that have that on there. Anyway, we're talking about the grips here, and this is what you would call Packmeyer grips. I can't figure out where the picture is on their side. I think these are Packmeyer grips. Maybe I'm crazy, but they look like a lot like Packmeyers to me, but they don't have Packmeyer written on them anywhere. Maybe it's on the bottom. We're not going to get a bottom shot, an up the bottom shot. Look at this shot, though. So what do you think of these grips? That's the next poll. So you thought you could just casually come in here and watch some video about some dude looking at auction stuff. What do you think of these grips? Yes. They're good. They are lame. Or alright, boom. So like I said, a lot of channels, they won't challenge you. They won't make you think or interact with what you're watching. You don't get that luxury here. So get out of here. And this also is a tactic to make the narcotic or the narcs leave, the federal agents leave. So we only have 2 votes. At this point, we could literally have 7 federal agents watching this video. So we'll know by the time we get votes in there what actually is the deal. All right, so that's that Python. I think a lot of people like Pythons. For some reason, it's up to $1,800. It'll probably go a little higher, I think. All right, here's the problem. You didn't foresee that you'd be talking this long. I certainly didn't. So you're going to get a commercial. I'm going to go get something to drink because I didn't even give myself something to drink here. I can't play the DC Project commercial, which I think would be the most apt, but they rip off audio from someplace in there and it gives me a copyright strike every time I play it. So let's play the video from this place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 40.
All right, well, I had no idea that I'd be that thirsty after being online for 13 minutes, but that was a commercial for Locked and Loaded Latinos. They go live every Saturday, usually every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Definitely worth watching, participating in their live conversation or watching it after the fact if you can't watch live. And I think you'll be impressed. Everybody I've recommended it to has enjoyed it. All right, so we had some fake toys made out of metal. Then we got some kind of jewelry, some more coins and things, some kind of rifle, 22 long rifle, another fake car. I used to have a car like this. Let's see, we got another video game, Centipede. I don't like Centipede. So if I had to get Centipede versus Zaxxon, most people I think are going to pick Centipede. Here's the deal. Centipede's got that ball on it, doesn't it? And that ball was always ruined after a while. So I think I'd go with Zaxxon, even though I didn't like Zaxxon at the time. Because I definitely didn't like Centipede. I never played Centipede. That ball is basically asking you to just wipe somebody's cold on your hand. Let's see, we got a giant zebra pelt. How many people would get a giant zebra pelt? And then what would you do with a giant zebra pelt? The best thing to do with it is put it over the back of like a couch that you don't sit on really all that often, or have it up on the wall. But I think having it up on the wall you wouldn't use it for. Would you use a zebra pelt as a blanket, or is it strictly decorative? Doesn't look like a rug. Let's take a look at it. Oh, its head's all in there too. I don't think I'd be down with having its head in there. I didn't know that was in there. No, this doesn't look like a blanket. This looks like a decorative thing. Plus its head is in there. I'm not expecting to see its head in there. Its face and everything. Let's see. So then you got some paintings. Got this Garand. How come a Garand costs like significantly less than a Python? The Winchester too. Oh, it says Danish, so I don't know what that means. Maybe we gave it to Daneland. Danenstein. I don't know what Danishstein. I don't know where Danish is. Oh, it's got a certificate that comes along with it. So this is something M1 Danish. What does that mean? I haven't heard of an M1 Danish. Easily one of the most iconic U.S. military rifles ever made. The Garand, or Garand. Garand? I don't know. I heard this dude on. I have it open. I was just watching a Johnny Rowland shooting show on the other computer earlier, yesterday, I guess, but I still might have it open over there, where the dude that hangs out with Johnny Rowland all the time was calling it a Garand. How was he saying it? He was saying it a way I've never heard it said before. But he's old, so does that make it right? Because he's old. He was in World War II. Anyway, Second Korean War conflict. Chambered in the powerful 30-06 string-filled cartridge, the M1 Garand was one of the first truly successful semi-auto battle rifles to be used in any significant numbers. This one is manufactured by Winchester and comes with a Civilian Marksmanship Program, CMP, certificate of authenticity showing that it was loaned to the Danish service following World War II and later returned, after they stole it from us, to be surplus to the CMP. Rifle appears to be in fine condition with almost no finish loss on the metal components. So did it also go to Finland? No, I'm just kidding. So I don't know if this comes with the Danish. I'm still not certain, but I can't see why that's only $900. Back in my day, a Garand was worth $750 if it existed, and this one's only at $900. It seems like a deal to me. Does that seem like a deal? Let's see. So now we've got some good stuff going. Put it under my tiger pelt. Oh, that's savage. I could see that though. Have a zebra pelt going one way and a lion or a leopard or whatever, tiger I guess in this case. Wait a minute. Does a tiger even ever have an opportunity to meet a leopard? I mean, a tiger ever have an opportunity to meet a zebra? I don't think that's a thing. So that would be like a zoo situation there. But I guess I see where you're going. I think a lion pelt would be better. But I don't know. I'm not one for having predator pelts myself personally. Zebra seat cover, Halloween costume, fake game hunter man cave. Well, does it have to be fake? Can't you just have a cool man cave deco or whatever? How about on the ceiling? Snap. That's pretty big. That could go on the ceiling of a place. That might be neat. Make American Garand again. All right. Garand. Zebra pelts are very stiff. You can't cuddle up with them. You can drape them over a sofa, but they're very rough. Oh, okay. So hair like a cow or something probably, or like I guess like a horse probably. So you wouldn't want to have it on the back of your couch, you're saying? I've seen like some things on the back of couches, but like I say, often that's for looks more than for because it's a blanket or whatever. Let's see. I thought Winchester M1s were worth a lot. I would think so. I would think that they're worth more. Echo says, I used to have a zebra pelt and a lion pelt with their heads still in it. My girlfriend after high school is from Africa and her father gave them both to me. Dude, that'd be awesome. I would definitely want to have a lion's head on there. I just never thought about the zebra one. Usually I just didn't think that they were on there. But the lion one for sure. That sounds pretty cool. I had a couple of interesting things. I was thinking about it, but I guess they all got ditched whenever I booked out of the house as a youngin'. But I had a little baby alligator that was stuffed, like a completely stuffed alligator that was only like 14 inches long. So it was like a baby alligator that they stuffed. It's kind of gross, but it was also super awesome. Aliens like predator pelts. Okay. Maybe predators like alien pelts. All right, so still never heard of this Finnish or Danish one before. We'll see. That one will be interesting to watch. We're going to watch this live tonight. You can tell by looking at them. They all have, what are they going to tell you? 5 hours, 39 minutes left. 5 hours something minutes, because in about 5 hours we're going to be watching this live over on GunTube. All right, so you got Earl made the watercolor here. That's up to $100. I might start doing some watercolors. Let's see. Then we got some more stuff. A bunch of bench aid knives. Oh snap! Video game called Punch Out. Now one I never heard of. A bunch more coins. Oh, United States error coins. That sounds kind of interesting. So this is somebody had a collection of errors. Off center. Something silver, mint error, off-center error, lamination, mint error, typeset, blank, something, mint error, silver, mint mark, garage struck error. That's kind of cool. Man, I had a penny one time when I was a little kid that I just seen as I, was going through stuff, and it had 2 stamps on it. And I just found that, dude, just standing there, minding my business, looking at change. Because back in the day, there was change. Like, that was a thing. So I was just looking at some change one day, and I had a double stamp penny. That was pretty neat. I don't have it. I don't know where it is now. But that would be kind of neat. All stamped errors, or all kinds of mint mark errors and stuff. That's kind of cool. $100. I bet you that'll go higher. That'll go to at least $110. Oh, man, there's a whole bunch of video games. So this one is Circus Charlie. All these video games are like $300. I would think video games are worth more than that, or is it one of those deals that they can't get? Oh no, this one's worth $1,000. Or is it one of those deals where they can't be worth that much because they're just too big? Only rich people can have them with basements and stuff. Vintage Bakelite Asian figurine. First, racist. Second, what? I thought they only made magazines out of Bakelite. Huh, that then looks like ebony, or, oh damn, that looks like wood, that is wood. But it definitely doesn't even look like bakelite. It's kind of neat. I guess that would make sense. What is this? Oh, I thought that was some old batteries or something. That would have been cool. It's just a bunch of stupid dimes. Nobody cares about dimes. So, Canada Dry clock. Dang, it's worth a lot of money. Defender. So how can Defender be worth $300 and some game I never heard of called Punch Out is worth $1,000? How can any people are wrong? A carved ivory. That's interesting. We got this B West AK-47. So this comes from Tucson. I feel like I should get this because it came from Tucson. And this should go back to Tucson. So this is an underfolder, underfolding bayonet. So, a folding bayonet. These are half as good as a double underfolder, but these are actually pretty neat. So, nice. B West imported a bunch of stuff and not that much stuff, so these are pretty rare. I knew a guy that had a couple of these from back in the day. All right, then we get this rare Springfield Tanker Garand. Who knows about Tanker Garands? And then if you do know about Tanker Garands, what is your opinion on Tanker Garands? Because that's a rough, back in the days of Wonder Nines, Tanker Garands was an issue. Nowadays, people don't even know what they are, but back in the day. So they are good, 78%, and Come On Man, 22%. Well, Come On Man was right, 79% of you are wrong. So we have 9 people watching. Oh, it's a pretty high percentage of humans right now. All right, so we got some humans watching. Let's see, DJ saying Punch Out was cool, but, so I don't know what that means. Do you stuff baby alligators with something or what? It was snot. It was gross in there. It was basically all yellow because it was just probably soaked in some vat of chemical or something. And it was like a tan color. And then there was like some wire in there. And then I think newspaper or something, just like some kind of paper, maybe even was newspaper. And because I think one of my dogs chewed its foot off at some point, so I knew it was inside of it. But yeah, it was just something like paper or something. It was fairly low cost effort type of thing. My neighbor had zebras and camels. Interesting. We used to have a camera saddle. I don't know what happened to that. It was kind of neat. I just said it was all good. Yeah, I had them I had them on the wall for years. I had a friend over one night. He took pictures to show his dad, who was originally born in Africa, and he ended up taking them from me. Oh, you gave them to him. Okay. Right on. You never heard of Punch Out, where you had to punch out you were a boxer and you could be seen in your little boxes? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Where you were the floating gloves and the other person. Here's the thing. I don't like violence, so I abhor violence, and I wouldn't play a video game that it encourages violence like that. So I would have never played a video game like that. Let's see. So, I was trying to end this poll over here. We're ending it. Even though we had a particularly high participation rate. All right, next up, there's a whole bunch of video games in this one. So do you think a video game arcade went out of business? Or do you think that some rich guy just had a bunch of these things in his basement? Jungle Beat. Pinball Works. I don't know what this is, but I'm opening it. So, a Remington Bronze. I don't know if that's just a thing out here because of the West, or if everybody has those, but those are a thing. What is this all about? We're opening this up. It's $50 and it's interesting looking. Burger Time. That one's up to $600. It's a Chinese robe. It's kind of neat. Queen Dynasty Chinese robe. We're opening that up. See what that's all about. I've seen these lamps before. It's only $80. These are super heavy and have fancy glass in them, but I thought they'd be worth more than that. Vintage Camel cigarette signs. We're opening that up. Let's see. Antique Bausch & Lomb microscope. $50. Yeah. What does the world really gain by seeing things close up anyway? So close encounters, space encounters. Oh, I never heard of that one. Oh, but that looks weird as hell. So we're opening that one up. I suspect that one's old and weird. We've got a large English butler. Oh, this is racist. We're going to open this up. What else we have going on here? Antique telephone. I can remember. Wait a minute. No, I've only fake talked on telephones like this. I have been around in the world with telephones like this, but I've never talked on a telephone like this. I've talked on the kind of telephone where it's two pieces though, and you just talk to the thing on the wall and you hold the one thing in your ear. I've talked on that kind of telephone that worked in real life when I was a little kid. Let's see. So some kind of another video game. There's a lot of video games in this one. About a Kudu mount. We're going to see what that costs. I would call that a Kafari, but otherwise I don't know what the fuck. So then we got a Narinko for an M14 for $500. What? Got a little kid's fire truck like Dragon Man would have. I would think Dragon Man would buy this. I would think Dragon Man would buy that for $90 in a second for his giant pedal car collection. I feel like somebody should talk to Dragon Man about that. Stamp large binder Soviet republics. We're opening that up. Okay, I'm sure. If you people want to have something opened up, you can request it. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to open it up if it's something weird, but if it's interesting, then we might open it up. Porcelain Wildcat figurines. All right, we're opening that up because it's weird. Mortal Kombat. Doesn't like that game. Again, violence. SKS. I guess we'll look at a $300 SKS. What? What else we got going on here? We've got a bunch of video pinball stool. That's interesting. An Atari Le Mans video game works. We're going to open that up. That looks interesting. An Atari video game. That's where it all comes from. Where it all comes from. Coin 1857, United States large cent, $135 for a penny. Some chump was sitting around in 1857 going, all I got is a penny. And if he would have just sat around waiting, he'd have 135 bucks. Sucker, he just gave that penny to somebody. Millipede, 150 bucks. That doesn't make any sense to me. Millipede is the older, lamer brother of Centipede, I think. But still, 150 bucks. That's still, I feel like that's giving it away. There's a bunch of guns in here I haven't been paying attention to, Makarovs and stuff. I feel like we already looked at those Makarovs one time. Maybe it was some other chat. Budweiser side looks pretty nice. Oh, here's a baseball card thing. Wonder who's going to buy that again. We know who bought the last ones. Time Crisis 3 arcade shooting game. Looks like some kind of duel game with a whole bunch of guns, and it's only 140 bucks. Yeah, 140 bucks. Thing is, he's still got 5 hours left, so it's possible that people are still going to bid on him. Maybe. We got Astro Fighter. That looks kind of weird, but I'm going to quit opening up video games. Unless it's like Atari Pong, I'm not opening it. Weston's Biscuit Company. I think somebody was just talking about biscuits the other day. More guns. Charter Arms. Oh, a Buffalo nickel. 100 bucks. Same thing. Some sucker was sitting around with a nickel going, oh my God, it's a nickel. Oh, here's one of them rotating shelves. These are kind of neat. 500 bucks. Dang. I'd buy that for 50 bucks. Asteroids for $400. Come on. Why is that other one $1,000? Punch Out is not that good. For one thing, it's fine. Atari arcade game, nice project game. 300 bucks. They know what they're talking about. Look at this. Phoenix soft drink, and there's no O in it. Phoenix. Go drink Phoenix. It's delicious. I like that. Go drink our drink without the O in it. It cost extra to put the O in there. It was a separate drink. Let's see. Simpsons Kooky Carnival Coin Drop Arcade. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that they're dropping coins and they scoot off? Sharpshooter. There's so many video games in this one. There's an elk hide, 75 bucks. What would you do with an elk hide? Not like what would one do, but what would you do if somebody gave you an elk hide? An SKS Paratrooper for 400 bucks. Wonder if it comes with the real upper, the real receiver cover. Street Fighter 2 pole position. Dang, pole position you'd think would have a significant place in history. Wasn't that the first car game? It sure was the first car game. Matula Nagant, 300 bucks. And then the prices of Mosin Nagant started to rise. So we got a tiny little Remington single shot. We'll open that up. We got a Mahdi. Ooh, with the thumbhole stock. Sweet. I'm hoping to see one of these, like an Atari Pong. Rare SKSM. That's not an SKSM. So let's find out what's going on with that. No, an SKSM looks completely different than that. Is that an SKSD, maybe? And they're only 600 bucks. I remember one time I bought an SKSD, and I always thought it was so, or I seen an SKSD for sale, and I thought it was a good deal. And somebody told me that it'll never be worth nothing. So now there's a Tula SKS. So nice. Got a couple of different SKSs going on here. If anybody needs a bayonet for an SKS, like this person is gonna, let me know. I got some extras. Victory Road. Got an air complete upper. This is, oh my goodness, I'm glad they're only selling half of this. Can you imagine how dangerous it would be if they sold the other half of that gun? Moon Patrol. And Excite Bike, another Python. That Python's up to $2,000. All right, so that looks like all the ones I'm interested in. We'll see. Ms. Wield, good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is by you. Grand Track 10 by Atari, and likely the first video game. Oh, okay. Shipping is probably the prohibited factor. I guess I'll bet you not though, because like you're saying, you think it's somebody's arcade man cave thing. Like there's a bunch of nerds, right? And if they like these video games or whatever, how much would it cost to get a truck that looks like a regular truck, and then put a bunch of like 3 or 4 of these for the price of one fancy 308 AR? You could buy a lot of video games with this auction, I bet. Robotron, that sounds good. All right, so now we're going to start to examine some of the things that we are going to look at. So we got this Tanker Garand. Who knows what's so good about Tanker Garands? We'll read what they say. Easily one of the most iconic. Garand was served during World War II. Chambered in the powerful 308. Blah, blah, blah. This is a rare example and very well made shortened Garand. Likely done in the 50s or 60s on a demilitarized part kit sold to the U.S. market. The 18-inch barrel is a Krieger, and a serial number dates to their Springfield receiver of 1943. Rifle is in like-new conditions, and all right, I got the hiccups. It appears to be in good working order. So I got the hiccups. That means you're getting a commercial, and I'm going to drink some water over here. Why don't we go with this guy? This guy rips off the Daily Gun Show twice a week, talks to girls, and then he talks about meat on weekends. It's disgusting. That's not a very long commercial. All right. So, super fast gameplay and the double sticks. All right. So that's the thing about a Tanker Garand. It's a short Garand and it's fake. There's no such thing as one. But here is one. So that's how you know that that's where the rumors came from. So somebody made them, and that's what it looks like. I know one guy who's got one. He thinks it's so good. It is $2,000 with 42 bids. That hurts my wallet because I don't have that much money, but that's close to it's almost my tax bill. Let's see. Jungle Beat Pacino Pinball Works. I don't know what the hell this is. We're gonna find out. Oh, it's a pachinko game. I figure the last thing you'd want to do is go into a pachinko place and then, like, shoot somebody with a slingshot, because then they would all shoot you right back with a slingshot. There can't be anything better than having a giant thing of ball bearings as a prize. It's awesome. So I don't have any idea how that game works. I just know that there's tons of ball bearings involved, so that means it's got to be good. So then this is one of them bronze things. They're kind of neat to look at, but what they're not neat is moving them around because they're heavy. So trying to see what the deal is. What's in his hand over here? And what's going on with this? Is that a rifle? Oh yeah, looks like he's got a little blunderbuss or something happening here. I wonder if that's a short rifle or if they decided to make it short so it wouldn't break the thing. Mountain Man by Remington. I think that it's either broke or he didn't make it all the way, because that seems like an SBR. And we all know, first off, that would have been illegal. And second off, that would have been too dangerous to go around with. Plus, if he had a sawed-off flintlock like that, he would have been wearing it under his clothing. And second, why would he be going down a hill like that with a horse? Makes no sense to me. I think they got it backwards and he was really going up a hill. They're probably setting it on the table wrong. It should probably be set in this orientation. But whatever. Whenever you buy it, you can set it up however you want it. Century Manage. Oh, I know what this is now. This is a film projector. So you put some piece of film into there, and then it uses the power of projection and lights to push it out. This is sort of like a laser. Oh, snap, it uses electrics. I figured it was going to have like some kind of candle in there. So look at those crazy electrics. That's not even this country's electric. That's what happens when you live in the world of metric. They do weird things to your powers and stuff. So weird. How much is that going for? How do you get out of this part? How do I unclick the picture? There we go. $50. Interesting. All right, now we got this Chinese robe. I think this one's for a girl though. We need more robes in this country. I think we'd be better off. People would be more chill if they were in robes more often. That one's pretty good. I should have seen how much it was. So I'm going to look at how much things are before I open them. This one's is at $100. This isn't that old. This is when I started smoking. That's what the packs looked like. I used to smoke the Camel non-filters. All right, so that's not that old. That just makes me feel old. That's $100. So now we got Space Encounters, arcade game by Midway. I only opened up this one because it looks creepy and old. So $270. Look at how weird that looks. Some kind of injection molded Kydex. So you know that a whole bunch of holster manufacturers are drooling. They're looking at that front of that thing and they're going, whoa, that was Kydex before people knew what Kydex was. And then you got these crazy joystick things. Like this is the kind of stuff that could jam you up pretty good. And let's say if you got caught on this. So I'm sure these didn't last very long. And then it was probably just some handlebars off of some bike or something. And then look at these crazy buttons. It's awesome. So you have this cool screen going on. That's pretty awesome. There's that crazy handlebars thing. Look at this thing, has a piece of metal jabbing out of it. You know somebody got gutted. Oh, these aren't buttons. These are fake buttons. I got suckered. I thought those were real buttons. There's the back of it. Oh, snap. Is that an X-Wing? Or I mean a TIE fighter? No, I guess. Is there a joystick sticking out of a TIE fighter? That's the best graphic I've ever seen, I think. I'm taking a snapshot of that graphic. So you print screen by hitting print screen on your computer. Then you go over to your, what do you call it? And you open up Paint. And then you paste. And now here's all the stuff that you ain't seeing. And there's the stuff that you are seeing. And then you go down one maybe. Go to this select thing. Grab the piece that you want to hork. Then boom, it's horked. And then just save it somewhere on your computer to use later. Like next to this picture of a fan. I'll call it fans DDD. Boom. Now I've just horked that awesome graphic. And look at these weird space graphics. What's going on here? Are these hills in space? These are the space dunes of space. Then we're back to the beginning. I had extra money laying around and a giant place to put this. $270 later, I would not own that one. So it ain't that cool, but it's pretty close to being pretty cool. That's adjacent to cool. Now this is racist. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're showing us area. Come on. Oh, that's horrible. To believe that some people would have this in their home. Some people would have this in their home and they would make you go like get your breakfast off of that. That's horrible. That's the tradition in England. You'd have a large English butler carved and put next to your refrigerator. And then your mom would make breakfast or whatever, or maybe your grandma, wherever they call it in England. I want to open the other picture. Oh, it's caught up. So is it going to open this picture ever? This picture? See how these hands are? You would put like a tray on there with your breakfast, and then that way, technically, you were being served by a butler. It was a technicality, and then you could act like an aristocrat. It's pathetic. That's the kind of traditions they have in England. It's horrible over there. So how much does this thing cost? $60. $60. Let's see if we know who it was made by. Well, not the critter. We know who that was made by. The mount. This professionally mounted, so we're going to find out who. African Kudu head has large twisted antlers. This Kudu makes a beautiful presentation with rich brown fur and molted brown and tan fur under its white chin. The antlers, all right. This is not listed as an endangered species by Fish and Wildlife. Oh, it doesn't say who made it. So, for people that are wondering, shipping disclaimer. This item requires special packaging. Unless other arrangements are made, we will use this one place for shipping. Contact them for a shipping quote prior to bidding. You can call them. Alternatively, contact somebody else. And then you can do that too. So they're being open to whatever you want done, or they've got something already set up for you. And you can call ahead of time and say, hey, I'm interested in lot number 99, that awesome, I don't know what that is, deer head. And then they'll go, oh, yeah, that'd be like whatever, X amount of dollars to ship it. So, yeah, kind of interesting. I would rather have game mounts on my wall than video games laying around. But I don't know if I'd want this. I'd rather have North American critters. Let's see. So now we got a M14. So let's find out how much this thing costs. 540 bucks. What the hell's wrong with people? So, oh, it's a Chinese. This is a Norinco. How much did Night Strike just get done paying? Does anybody know what Night Strike paid? Anybody know what Night Strike paid? Because this is what Night Strike won. All right, what's going on out here? Shipping, whatever. We already went over that. I have no idea why you're posting a link to that. The first car game that you can sit down and actually would move was Atari. And it would actually move. What do you mean? The video game would move? Oh, you mean the seat would move. The TC Contender? Oh, I didn't see that. I'll go back to the auction. You don't really see those too often anymore, but I wasn't even looking at guns. I kept looking to see if there was, I was mainly looking to see if there was going to be an old Atari. Oh snap, look at this 27 with the laser. Everybody hates 27s and nobody respects a Crimson Trace laser. So 560 bucks. Gen 3 it looks like. So this is the one you're talking about, this stainless. That is kind of nice. So this is an Encore, FYI. So it's not a Contender. An Encore is newer than a Contender. What, it has a different size something. I don't know. I might not be what do you call it, like unaware of what's going on with these things. These look like plastic grips to me, but it looks good in a black and silver two-tone type of situation. But that looks too much like a Beasley grip to me. Holy snap. What did that say? 204 Ruger. What is 204 Ruger? Is that even real? Oh, it looks tiny. It looks like a little puny caliber. Like a 9mm or something. So I don't like this grip. It looks a little bit too Beasley to me. Vertical. I don't like the grip angle. But if it's only a little tiny caliber, then I guess it don't matter. I definitely like the two-tone of it. I didn't even know they made stuff in stainless. Makes sense though. Oh, you look at a little purse for it too. So you can wear that little purse over your shoulder or whatever you want to do with it. And it's got an optic on it. And I don't know what the optic was because I wasn't paying attention. It told us or no, I don't know. Did it tell us here? Nope, it's a bush now. So there you go. Am I getting ate by a mosquito? What the hell is that? So 440 bucks. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. Let's see. Do you have to pay a % on top of your winning? I don't think I did. I think I only paid what I paid. I think the other side pays, but I'm not sure. I might have paid something extra. DJ's leaving. I used to collect camel stuff. The World War II print ads are my favorite. 50s teasing ads were hilarious. I don't know what that means. What's a teasing? I think that's every comment. So we'll go back looking. So that's, nobody knows what Night Strike paid for his. This one's at 540. I'm guessing it'll go a little higher. So that's basically a Norinco version of an M14. So this I just thought would be interesting. This is only at 45 bucks. This is in Arizona. This is up out of Phoenix. So this is a book of Soviet stamps or something. Oh yeah, it's a real stamp book. It looks like they lick them and stick them on here. But at least you got them. Oh, I see. It's like a picture, and then you lick them on, stick them on top of the picture. That's kind of cool. So you get to see what all the ones are that you don't already have. On some of them, not on all of them. Huh. I think these are pictures. Are those either pictures? I think those are stamps. These are pictures for sure. That's a stamp. That's a stamp. So that's kind of neat. I don't know how many. Let me get that. What am I doing to get that? Double clicking? There. Let's see. Album contains several postage stamps from the early 1900s and 1960s. Great research material. Hundreds of early Russian postage with a page of stamps with what's his face on it. Makes a great investment. No sales tax on coins, bullion, currency. Interesting. So there's no sales tax on stamps, coins, or bullion. There must be some kind of law I don't know about because I never buy coins or stamps or bullion. So then we have these wildcat figurines. I just thought I would look at them because they look weird. So 45 bucks. I've never had a cat look like that. Oh, they're made in the USSR. That's what a communist cat looks like. Look all weird. I wonder. They don't have eyes, do they? There's some sort of a seal. They're made out of seals. They breed their cats out of seals. That makes no sense. So now we get a Chinese SKS. That's pretty clean. What's going on with? Oh, there's just a picture. Oh, it has its bayonet on it. It just couldn't see it in that one picture. Clean, very clean. Looks like it's never been used. Kind of clean. Uh-oh. So it's at $300. Do you think it'll stay at $300? I do not think it'll stay at $300. We'll see. Then we get this Le Mans Atari. Oh, there's a racing game. Nice. This is back when there's just a TV in there. This one's pretty damn good. That's a good graphic. Holy moly, that's a cool graphic. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Does this say extended play for score of 46? Come on. So that one's only 50 bucks. What? 50 bucks. Working grain game that appears all original. Nice monitor and bright marquee. All right, now we got a paratrooper SKS, so a shortened SKS, but it's got this, oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's just some sort of thing clipped on there. It's got the stock extension, so that's a chunk of rubber screwed on the back. Oh, it's had its dust cover tapped. So there's 2 holes in the dust cover now because of that scope on there. Fiberglass stock. Wait, is it? Yeah, that's a fiberglass stock. Oh, that's got the fiberglass stock on it. Oh, do I got fiberglass stock stories? Holy moly. Well, this isn't the time for that, so that's a neat looking gun. Will anybody buy it? We'll find out. Oh shit, that 440 bucks costs more than the other one. Interesting. That's more than oh crap. Just dropped the Mosin, I think. It was a $300 Mosin, no big deal. So that one's selling already for more than my paratrooper. My paratrooper sold for like $300 when I sold it. So this is an old Remington tiny little gun. Let's see what this costs. Sometimes these don't cost nothing, and sometimes these cost a lot. It depends on if there's an old guy who's wanting one. Makes them great. The lightweight paired with the ability to take them down makes them great additions to a pack on a hike or a camping trip. Rifle is in fine condition, so this is 22, all of them, 22 short, long rifle, or rifle, long. So let's take a look at it. Model C. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. I like the ones that are from Plinken, the gallery guns. This one's a little too fancy for me. So how much does this thing cost? 500 bucks? Oh, 300 bucks. That's not bad. It'll probably go up a little bit. So now we have a Mahdi. So what's so good about Mahdis? Well, for one thing, it's 500 bucks and it's an AK. But the other thing, and it's during the ban. So it's a ban gun. So what does this say here? And a cover weld over the muzzle threads. Oh, snap. So this is an early import, an early ban model. So the deal with the Mahdis is that Russia had a factory, they gave it to Germany. Germany had the factory, they gave it to Egypt. Egypt had the factory and made AKs on it. Eventually those AKs were bought by the CIA and sent to Afghanistan so that we could have AKs that had no markings to fight the, sorry, we couldn't, the Mujahideen could have AKs that could fight the Russians without any markings on them. So that's the real story of the Mahdi factory. But also, these came in as semi-auto import guns, and these are what Milius had converted into full autos to use to make the movie Red Dawn as authentic as possible. So while this one wasn't, this is one of the raw ones that was sitting on a boat in a shipping container next to the guns that were used in Red Dawn. So it's sort of like having something adjacent to something that's awesome by owning this. And the Egyptians are making these on machines that were used by the Germans that were given to them by the Russians. And they look like a bunch of drunk people in a hurry made guns on machines that were used by the Germans and by the Russians. Pretty neat, shitty guns. So they got no threads, or they're pre-ban, or they're banned. So they're made during the assault weapons ban. So they came in with this plywood thumbhole stock. The front grip was the same. And then they tack welded, they just put on a muzzle nut and tack welded it on there. So that means all you got to do is cut that tack weld and you got your threads back. They ground off the bayonet lug. So you're effed on that. You don't get a bayonet lug. You could potentially pull these pins and pull this gas block off and put a new one on, but I'd have a competent welder put a nut back on as opposed to doing all that personally. But you're probably still going to need to take this off to do that. But you could make this back to non-neutered, and then that's all you'd have to do, put a real stock on it, or put a real regular stock on it. Now you would have to change out the internal since it's imported to comply with 922R. You'd want to put a US trigger in it. U.S. Gas piston, which would make your internals compliant for the most part, and then use something like a U.S. grip. And potentially, if you don't want to do all that, you could put some U.S. parts in a magazine or use Magpul magazines. Neat gun, and also lame. So some people are not going to be interested in it. Some people are going to be ultimately interested in it. Interested to see what this one ends up 8 hours from now. Will we still be watching the bidding 8 hours from now? I don't know. I will, and some of the narcs will be getting paid overtime. But will other humans? That's the question. We don't know. All right, so that was the Mahdi. Then we got this. Oh, wait a minute. No, this is a D. No, it isn't. What is this? They're calling it a rare model SKS-M. It's not, though. Here's what an SKS-M is. This is an SKS-M. Oh, well, what the hell? This is an SKS-M. Let me see. So, are you telling me that there's an SKS-M that doesn't have a thumb hole, that it's not an M anymore? This is what an M looks like. And then this is a D. The D has a bayonet and a front end. So, see, they're calling this an M. And then this is a D. So it's got a bayonet lug and a regular stock. So what are they saying over here? That looks like a paratrooper. A shortened barrel. I don't know what this thing is. So we're going to look. So this is a paratrooper that has a magwell. And a real magwell with a magazine lock and nothing weird. This is not an SKSM. What does it say on here? Oh, it says SKSM on it. It's weird as hell. But this is not your typical SKSM. This is a paratrooper SKSM. Interesting. C8A. Oh, that means what's its face? Virginia. Wow. Crazy. So here's the deal. Back in the 80s, 90s, I guess, they quit importing SKSs. Why? Because the drug trade was started because of cocaine, and marijuana, I guess, had already been part of the drug trade. Now it got even more dangerous because of cocaine. So because the drug trade, the illegal drug trade was so dangerous because of cocaine, that the drug lords were carrying around rifles now. Fake, they never did, but according to politicians, now the drugs are so bad that we got to stop this importation of AK-47s and SKSs from China because of the drug trade. And then you go find out who owned all these companies. Clinton who? What? Owned what? So go try to find that information anywhere about who owned the companies that got blocked from importation and what kind of political move that was. Hint, pro tip, it had nothing to do with gun owners. We were the suckers who just lost our guns, the rights, and, lost in the mix. But this was a game between people who owned the import companies and people who got sick of being shafted because they weren't importing nothing. But no one's talking about that because it doesn't do any good to just be mad about the Clintons this many years later when they could blame it on NRA or whatever. But nobody's going to look into that. All right, and then there's that Le Mans one again for $30. So this one is one that doesn't work, I guess. Dang, for $30. Turn that into the case for my 3D printer. That'd be cool. All right, well, so yeah, there's the stuff that I thought was interesting at the auction. Oh, there's 3 old cardstock tobacco signs. Old advertiser smoking tobacco. Stud good cigarette tobacco. Burns freely, stays lit. Every bite tastes right. Brown's Mule chewing tobacco. So people used to just buy a brick of soap that was tobacco and chew off of it. Nice. And then they would be like, well, some mule does it, so I'm doing it. And then you would buy a little bag of tobacco and it would come with 2 books of cigarette papers free. And that was backed by the NRA. Look, the NRA was advertising cigarettes back in the day. They wanted you to die from cigarette poisoning. All right, well, so that's a bunch of stuff that's interesting. In about 6 hours or 5 hours or something like that, we'll go live over on GunTube.org and watch the awesomeness of the auction happen. You're welcome to join or welcome to not join here. And you go check out stuff at the auction or go live in misery and hate. Just stew in your juices if you hate to buy things at auction. With that, I'll drop the link one more time so that if somebody's interested in not stewing in their juices can go check it out. And we'll go look at some comments and then we'll be out of here. Right in an hour, just under an hour, just like it's supposed to be. Let's see. Next time, I'll take them. What are you taking? What stat is this place? Oh, that's Arizona. Let's see. Good afternoon. Oh, this is already done. Nope, that was Afghanistan. That was the Mujahideen, and we allowed Russia to taste a quagmire for a while. So anybody that thinks that we gave something back to somebody with nothing happening in 20 years isn't paying attention. But we're not going to pay or waste a bunch of time talking about what people don't want to talk about. an auction thing. So we'll wrap it up here right in about an hour. And there's nothing to figure out. You go over to GunTube, guntube.org. Boom. You'll find it like this. You'll go to Browse Streams. There's the Pot of Gold stream right there tonight. Oh wait, actually this is the one from last time. So when it happens, right, it'll show up. It's not alive yet, so I haven't started it yet. But whenever it go live, just go over to Browse Streams. It'll show up here. Click on it. When it clicks on it, you click on that button, and it'll live. And then over here will be words where people are talking to each other. It's just like YouTube, except that instead of being run by a international oligarchy, it's run by a dude, and he lives in the Carolinas, and the place is hosted in the United States, and it's authentic. But it works very similar to the multinational second largest search engine on the planet. Boom. With that, we'll end it. We'll say thanks again for showing up and paying or chatting with us live. It's better than just doing a lame video and you have to sit there and watch it or whatever. So with this, we'll end we didn't have anybody show up that made an ending, so we're going to use Gizzard's ending. This dude does a long format show every Friday night and every Sunday morning, focused on guns and often Second Amendment topics that you can join in and be part of. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.